Hello again, everyone. I hope everyone had a wonderful and blessed week. Today I'm going to discuss my research paper. For this paper, I decided to look into the roots of polygamy in the Mormon Church. Yes, as always, there is a personal touch to this topic. Back a few years ago, more than I care to remember, when I was a freshman in high school in Madrid, Spain, I dated a Mormon. His name was Quinn. He was our senior class president. I was a new freshman, and yes, I was Catholic. The Tales of a Rebellious Youth. I should write a book. Anyway, we dated that year. After he graduated and was heading back to the States, he asked me to marry him. Of course, I said no. Back to the present. When I was looking for topics for this paper, my eye caught on Joseph Smith, the founder of the Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints. I thought about how I could have been one of those young, multiple wives and decided to look into the topic. I will tell you straight up front that from my research, I believe it is possible that Joseph Smith did not actually condone or support polygamy in the Mormon Church. Now, I know that statement will cause a few eyes to roll. So while I talk about this, I ask you to remember Proverbs 12:19, that commitment to objectivity and honesty is essential to historical investigation. Please bear with me on this journey. When I first started this project, I simply thought I would talk about how polygamy started in the Mormon Church. That was my initial focus. However, the more I researched, the more it appeared to me that I was simply not going to find my primary evidence that polygamy started with Joseph Smith. In fact, I was seeing evidence to the contrary. By polygamy, I mean the actual consummated marriage of multiple women to the same man, which is how it is practiced in the Mormon Church today. Note the consummated part of the statement. My research indicates that Joseph Smith performed sealing ceremonies with multiple women. The number is actually in the hundreds. According to Marina Smith's book, a group of upper echelon teachers headed by Brigham Young seized upon Smith's sealing with multiple women to entrench the idea of fully consummated polygamy when they took control of the church after Smith's death. This was the actual true start of polygamy as we know it today in the Mormon Church. As I looked deeper into this subject, I had to read Fawn Brody's 1945 book, No Man Knows My History, which is considered the pertinent biography of Smith and is still in print today. Although a fascinating book into Smith and the Mormon Church itself, Brody certainly did not flatter Smith, calling him an impostor who began to believe his own stories. Yet, although Brody claims that Smith was an actual polygamist, she does not provide any concrete proof that the sealings he had with other women were in fact consummated plural marriages. I then ran into another very interesting study by Dr. Hugo Perego. Dr. Perego holds a PhD in genetics and molecular science. He is currently the director of the Rome Institute Campus of Religion and was a senior scientist for the Sorensen Molecular Genealogy Foundation in Salt Lake City. Now, the strongest case for a child born from one of Smith's supposed plural marriages is that of Josephine Lyons, born February 8, 1844, in Nauvoo, Illinois. Josephine's mother, Sylvia Sessions, was sealed to Smith, even though she was legally married to Windsor Lyon, her actual husband. The reason this case is so important is that Josephine signed an affidavit in 1915 that states her mother, Sylvia, told her specifically that she was the daughter of the prophet Joseph Smith. Josephine was even named after her supposed father, Joseph Smith. This case has been one of the most highly debated cases amongst historians, with the majority believing that Josephine Lyons was the true biological offspring of Smith, thereby proving that Smith's idea of sealing was actually consummated polygamy. However, here is the shocker. In 2019, Perego published the results from DNA studies that prove Josephine Lyons was not Smith's biological daughter. Or, as Perego states in his conclusion, Joseph Smith did not father Josephine. And perhaps what Sylvia Sessions told her daughter had a different meaning than the biological relationships many historians have assumed. It is hard to argue with DNA evidence. Overall, the more I researched, the more I concluded that Joseph Smith did not support the plural marriage idea of polygamy. Yes, he performed sealing ceremonies with multiple women, and yes, said sealing ceremonies could be viewed as marriages. However, sealing ceremonies were also for any action by the church that was intended to last for eternity, even into the afterlife. This is how Smith viewed the sealing ceremonies, as a way of ensuring these women were a pertinent part of the church's family, including in heaven. Additionally, Smith did not live with any of his multiple sealing partners in any kind of a communal plural marriage environment. Furthermore, extensive DNA studies have not been able to find any descendants of Joseph Smith from outside of his marriage to his wife, Emma Smith. Emma insisted that Smith did not support polygamy at the church, began to practice it after Smith's death. In fact, she objected so strongly to this fact that she broke from the Mormon church and formed her own church. To me, this all points to one thing, that Joseph Smith did not support the plural marriage idea, which includes consummation of the marriage. Therefore, he did not enter into nor conduct polygamy. There, that is the basis of my research paper, and those are my conclusions. I know some of you will not agree with me, and that is fine. When I started that research, I thought that Smith was a full-blown polygamist, running about the country, performing sealing ceremonies with women just so he could consummate the deal, so to speak. Yet, the more that I researched, the more evidence led me to conclude that this popular belief about Smith is simply not true. I am open to your comments. I'm sure I will hear some. Thank you all for listening. Peace and blessings. Have a wonderful and blessed Christmas and a very prosperous, peaceful, and bountiful new year. Peace out.